Today, I'm sharing the exact word-for-word scripts to answer the 5 toughest interview questions you'll face when changing industries. These scripts will turn your outsider status into your advantage. Most career changers try to downplay their lack of industry experience or awkwardly overcompensate by claiming they can learn quickly. That approach almost always fails because it reinforces your outsider status. It's like the adult version of trying to get into the cool kids club. Instead, I'll show you how to flip these tough questions into opportunities to showcase your unique cross-industry perspective. Using these exact 5 scripts, you'll position your different background as precisely why you should be hired for the position, not despite it. If you're new here, I'm Jamila Brown, and I've worked for some of the largest companies in the world, managed billion-dollar blocks of business, and thousands of people at one time. I became a career strategist because I did not think everything that I had learned over my 20-plus year career was just for me. Today, I help my clients find their career freedom job and share hacks with you here on our podcast every Monday and Thursday. Today, you'll get word-for-word templates for the 5 most challenging interview questions industry changers face. I've interviewed thousands of people and helped hundreds of people prepare for interviews. These are the questions that stomp people the most and keeps them from getting a second interview. Question number 1, why this industry? When changing industries, this question isn't just casual curiosity. It's the interviewer wondering if you're genuinely committed or just desperately applying everywhere. A weak answer to this question signals you're a flight risk and not truly invested. Hiring new people costs money. According to Indeed, some companies pay between $4,000 and $20,000 for a new hire, and that's not including salary and benefits. They have to get it right more than they get it wrong, or that recruiter or hiring manager will be out of a job quickly. First, I'm going to give you an example, then I'm going to give you the script with the fill in the blanks so that you can do it for yourself. Here's your script. For example, if you're moving from teaching to corporate training and they ask you why this industry, you could say this: I'm drawn to corporate training because it combines the impact of education with business outcomes. In my 5 years of teaching high school English, I noticed how the best learning happened when students could immediately apply concepts to real-world scenarios, which is so true. For example, when I redesigned our writing curriculum to include business communication, student engagement increased by 35%, and several students used their projects in college applications. This experience showed me that my skills in simplifying complex information and measuring learning outcomes could directly contribute to helping employees apply new skills immediately. I've prepared for this transition by completing ATD's training and development certification and conducting 12 informational interviews with L&D directors. These steps have reinforced my interest in creating learning experiences that deliver measurable business results. Here's your script with the fill in the blanks. I'm drawn to target industry because of its specific characteristic that genuinely interests you. In my previous role, in current industry, previous industry, I noticed specific connection between industries or a problem you observed. For example, when I was specific achievement or project in previous role, I realized that insight that connects to new industry. This experience showed me that my skills in list your 1 to 2 transferable skills could directly contribute to specific challenge or opportunity in new industry. I've prepared for this transition by specific actions you've taken, courses, certifications, informational interviews, projects. These steps have only reinforced my interest in specific aspect of the industry that excites you. That's it. This script works because it shows thoughtful consideration of the industry, creates authentic connections between your past and future, and demonstrates concrete commitment through your preparation actions. And if you need more tips on upskilling, career pivots, resume, LinkedIn, click the link in the description to get our Career Power Play weekly for free. The job market is ever changing and your strategies have to stay current. Now you might be saying, what if they directly challenge my lack of industry experience? That's where our second script comes in, which is the single most powerful response in your arsenal as an industry changer. It's the no experience objection handler script. Almost every industry changer faces some version of, you have an interesting background, but we really need someone with industry experience. This objection feels like a dead end, but with the right script, it becomes your biggest opportunity to stand out. For example, if you're moving from nonprofit to sales and you get that question, you could say something like this: I understand your concern. Many companies prefer candidates with sales experience because they need someone who can follow established processes and meet revenue targets. While I don't have a traditional sales background, I bring a unique advantage: the ability to build trust and relationships with skeptical stakeholders. In my experience leading donor development at Save the Children, I've developed exceptional skills in needs assessments, objection handling, and closing that are directly applicable here. For example, when I created our major donor program, I secured 22 new commitments totaling $1.2 million in the first quarter, a 40% increase over target. This experience is relevant to your team's challenge with expanding into healthcare vertical. I've done my homework by completing Salesforce certification, studying your sales methodology, and shadowing 2 sales professionals in your industry. I'm not starting from zero. I'm bringing fresh perspectives combined with targeted preparation. May I ask what specific industry knowledge you're most concerned about me missing? Now, here's the script for you to fill in. I understand your concern. Many companies prefer candidates with industry experience because they need someone who can insert 1 to 2 key requirements they're worried about. While I don't have traditional industry background, I bring a unique advantage. Insert your specific advantage as an outsider. In my experience in previous industry, I've developed exceptional skills in insert 2 to 3 transferable skills that are directly applicable here. For example, when I insert specific achievement that demonstrates these skills, I insert measurable result. This experience is relevant to insert specific challenge mentioned in the job description or interview. I've done my homework by insert specific industry research, connections, or projects. I'm not starting from zero. I'm bringing fresh perspectives combined with targeted preparation. May I ask what specific industry knowledge you're most concerned about me missing? This script works because it acknowledges their legitimate concern rather than dismissing it. It reframes your outsider status as an advantage, provides concrete evidence, and ends with a question that keeps the conversation going. If you need more on interviewing from a broader perspective, we have an entire playlist on interviewing linked in the description for you to check out. But sometimes the interviewer will be more direct and ask why they should hire you instead of someone with industry experience. That brings us to our next question. Why should we hire you over industry insiders? This question is really asking, convince me that your outsider perspective is worth the risk. This is your chance to position your different background as a solution to their problems, not a liability. For example, if you're moving from marketing to product management, you might say something like this. Based upon our conversation, it seems fintech solutions is facing challenges with product adoption rates in the small business segment. Industry insiders might approach this with conventional feature-focused solutions because they're conditioned to think within the established patterns. My background in B2B marketing gives me a distinct advantage. I can see opportunities from the customer acquisition and messaging perspective that might not be visible to those who've only worked in product. For example, in my previous role, I reversed declining engagement by interviewing frustrated customers and creating solution-focused campaigns rather than feature-focused ones, resulting in a 27% increase in conversion rates. Additionally, I bring deep customer psychology insights and A/B testing expertise that are uncommon in the product management space, but valuable for improving user onboarding flows. I've also invested in understanding the product development process through completing 2 end-to-end projects using agile methodology and conducting user research with 15 small business owners in your target market, so I can combine fresh perspectives with relevant context. Now, here's your script for you to fill in. Based upon our conversation, it seems, fill in the company's name, is facing specific challenge or opportunity they've mentioned. Industry insiders might approach this with conventional solutions because they're conditioned to think within established patterns. My background, insert the previous industry, gives me a distinct advantage. I can see opportunities and solutions that might not be visible to those who only worked in this industry. For example, in my previous role, I insert specific example of solving a similar problem with a fresh approach, resulting in concrete measurable result. Additionally, I bring 1 to 2 specific technical or soft skills from previous industry that are uncommon in this industry, but valuable for insert the specific application to their needs. I've also invested in understanding this industry through specific research, projects, or connections, so I can combine fresh perspectives with relevant context. This script works because it specifically addresses the business problems they're trying to solve. It positions your outside perspective as the solution to these problems and balances fresh thinking with concrete preparation. But handling the industry change question is only part of the battle. You'll also need to address standard interview questions with your transition in mind, like the dreaded weaknesses question, the what's your biggest weakness question for an industry pivot. The weakness question is tricky for any candidate, but for an industry changer, it's a potential trap. The interviewer might be fishing for you to admit your lack of industry experience. Instead, we'll use a strategic approach. For example, if you're moving from customer service to UX design, I believe in being forthright about areas for growth. As I transition into UX design, I'm working on deepening my knowledge of interactive prototyping tools beyond the basics. I've taken proactive steps to address this by completing the Advanced Figma coursework, participating in 2 design hackathons, and having my prototypes reviewed by senior designers, which has already helped me incorporate more sophisticated interactions into my work. I'm committed to continuing this growth by scheduling weekly practice sessions focused on mastering micro interactions. What I've found is that my extensive experience with customer pain points from my customer service background gives me a strong foundation, while my fresh perspective allows me to ask questions that challenge assumptions and identify new opportunities. In my previous roles, this combination of humility about what I don't know and my confidence in my ability to learn quickly has allowed me to reduce customer complaint escalations by 45% by redesigning our troubleshooting scripts based upon actual customer language. Now, here's your script for you to fill in for yourself. I believe I'm being very forthright about areas for growth. As I transition into new industry, I'm working on deepening my knowledge of specific technical aspect or industry knowledge. I've taken proactive steps to address this by insert 2 to 3 specific actions you've taken, which has already helped me list your specific improvement. I'm committed to continuing this growth by insert what your ongoing learning plan is going to be. What I found is that my extensive experience with transferable skill relevant role gives me a strong foundation, while my fresh perspective allows me to ask questions that challenge assumptions and identify new opportunities. In my previous roles, this combination of humility about what I don't know and my confidence in my ability to learn quickly has allowed me to insert example of past success adapting to new areas. This script works because it shows self-awareness without undermining your candidacy, demonstrates proactive improvement, and pivots back to your strengths while acknowledging the transition. Finally, you'll almost certainly face questions about your future plans, which can be especially tricky when changing industries. Here's how to handle the classic "where do you see yourself" question. This question is designed to gauge your commitment to the new industry. Interviewers worry you might be making a temporary pivot or don't have realistic expectations about your career progression. For example, if you're moving from journalism to marketing, this is something that you might say. I've given my career path considerable thought during this transition. In the short term, I'm focused on excelling as a content marketing specialist by creating data-driven content that converts, leveraging my investigative journalism background while rapidly developing expertise in marketing analytics. Midterm, I aim to grow into a content strategy role where I can combine my unique storytelling perspective with a deepened marketing knowledge to develop comprehensive content programs that support multiple business objectives. Long term, I'm committed to the marketing space because it combines my passion for compelling communication with measurable business impact. My diverse background will help me eventually lead teams that break through content saturation with truly distinctive approaches. What I value most is working in environments that balance creative excellence with strategic objectives. And I see tech growth as an ideal environment for this path because your content consistently achieves both while supporting your rapid expansion into enterprise markets. Now, here's your script to fill in. I've given my career path considerable thought during this transition. In the short term, I'm focused on excelling in this role by insert 2 to 3 key contributions you plan to make, leveraging my background in your previous industry while rapidly developing expertise in key area of new industry. Midterm, I aim to grow into the logical next step role where I can combine my unique cross-industry perspective with deepened industry knowledge to specific impact you want to have. Long term, I'm committed to the new industry space because authentic reason for long-term interest. My diverse background will help me insert the unique contribution you can make as you advance. What I value most is insert genuine career priority that aligns with their company, and I see, name the company, as the ideal environment for this path because of specific reason their company fits your goals. This script works because it shows thoughtful consideration of a realistic career path, connects your background to your future goals, and demonstrates commitment to the new industry. With these 5 scripts, you're now equipped to handle the toughest questions you'll face when changing industries. Now let's pull all of this together. We've covered the exact scripts for 5 challenging interview questions. Why this industry? Handling the experience objection. Why hire you over insiders? The weaknesses question, and your future plans. Remember, the key to these scripts is customizing them with your specific experiences while maintaining the structure that turns your outsider status into your greatest advantage. You'll want them to come across in your tone, but keep the structure. If you found these scripts helpful, hit the like button and let me know in the comments which interview question has been the biggest challenge in your industry transition journey. For personalized feedback on your interview answers, click the link in the description. I got you covered. And until next time, I love you.